The Cardiac Sharks almost do it again, this time losing 5-4 in a shootout to Vegas. We're going to talk about that. Going to look at Mikael Granlund and why he's the engine to this kind of Sharks comeback, and talk about the Cuda weekend and if Danil Gushchin's getting close to being called up. So all that and more on today's episode.
You're Locked On Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, welcome to Locked On Sharks, the premier hockey podcast covering your favorite team in the Bay Area. My name is JD Young, contributor at San Jose Hockey Now. And I want to thank you for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Proudly a part of the Locked On Network. We cover your team every day. And if you want to be an everydayer, all you have to do is just follow along wherever you get podcasts, or you can watch on YouTube as well. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about these Cardiac Sharks who have once again down multiple goals, decide to come back and force overtime. This time, just falling short in a shootout, 5-4 to the Vegas Golden Knights. So before we talk about all that, we're also going to check out the Barracuda, who continue to have a very up and down season. And if Danil Gushchin's getting ready to make an appearance here soon. But before we get into all that, do want to let you know that today's episode is brought to you guys by Sleeper. Download the Sleeper app, use promo code LOCKEDONNHL to get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. So these Sharks, they just continue to just scrap and claw their way back into games. This was a very weird game, right? Especially because you had the Sharks, who on paper are the inferior team to Vegas. Vegas, though, coming off a the second game of a back-to-back where they did have to travel from Dallas to back home to Vegas. Sharks well rested, not having played since Thursday. Yeah. So well rested Sharks team, but this game just it felt like Vegas tried to do the thing where they're just gonna put the that we've seen so many times from the Sharks, right? We'll play with you for a little bit, and then the third period will come out and we'll make this a 2-goal game, and then we'll park the bus, and there's nothing you're gonna be able to do about it. And the Sharks were just like, no, we're gonna keep fighting our way back into it, and especially considering William Eklund didn't dress. He went out for warmups, was not good to go. So the hope is if he made it to warmups, maybe a couple days rest, he be ready for Tuesday's game. Anthony Duclair takes right off the opening face-off of the second period, gets hit from Keegan Colasar. I saw some people like, oh, Keegan Colasar, it looked like they were both just skating and they just kind of ran into each other, Duclair just got kind of hit in the head by Colasar's shoulder. It didn't seem malicious. It seemed like just two guys skating, and one guy just got hit, his head bumped. So didn't return. So we'll see what's up with, if this is a long-term injury with him. But the Sharks just continue to find a way to force their way back into games. And even in this game, it was a very tightly contested game, even though Vegas multiple two goalies that the Sharks kept cutting and eventually tying at the end of the third period. But you're getting it from guys like Mike Hoffman, right? Mikael Granlund, who's quickly rising up as one of the most important Sharks forwards or Sharks players. I mean, I would say Hurdle's the number one, and then Granlund is definitely a top 3 most important player, especially, and you can point to a lot of the Sharks' recent success to Mikael Granlund playing well and being an anchor on that second line in a good way, not an anchor in a bad way, but being an anchor on that second line and having players around him that fit his skill set. Look at Zetterlund, right? Look at Duclair, and even tonight, right? No Duclair. Cool. We'll figure things out. Barabanov, come on up. We'll figure things out. Granlund has been so important for the Sharks, and a guy who was written off, especially after last season, right? Someone tweeted out he had 5 points in 21 games for the Penguins. He has 5 points in the last 2 games for the Sharks. I think it was Corey Schneider. So just it's crazy how this team, which we have seen so many times in the past couple of years, basically as soon as they get punched in the mouth, right, they just kind of fold, and then a 2-1 or 3-1 lead turns into a 5-6 or 6-1 type of game that we've seen, multiple times. This team just get blown out, even beginning of the season. But this team, they've got guts, man, and they're going to fight to the bitter end. And it doesn't matter what the score is; they could be down 2 goals, 3 goals, 4 goals. We've seen this team come back and win these types of games. So hats off to these guys. These guys are playing right now. It's 1000% not sustainable to continue to come back from these types of games, but it's a really fun ride now, right now. And it's something that we as Sharks fans just haven't been able to enjoy a Sharks team in a while. It's been a long time, multiple years since we've been able to enjoy a Sharks team. It has been a lot of bad hockey for 4 or 5 years now, and we'll see how long and how far grittiness and guts and just heart can push this team. They're still last place in the tank standings. We got tied with Chicago with 19 points. Chicago does have a game in hand. But like the way the Sharks are playing right now, they're going to kind of start crawling themselves out of here. And like even looking in the Pacific Division, I think there's other teams that are playing way worse hockey right now. Like if you look at the Kraken, you look at the Ducks, like this Sharks team is playing fun, energetic, gritty hockey. And it starts with guys like Tomas Hertl leading the way, Mikael Granlund, Mike Hoffman with 2 goals, not like getting contributions from them. The defense is starting to figure some things out. I thought tonight the defense, I thought Calen Addison, he made up for it with a goal at the end, but he had some trouble just kind of keeping the puck in. Henry Thrun, who may played in this game, and we'll kind of look at some of the numbers here in a minute. I thought Thrun played pretty well despite some of the numbers in the 2-on-1 goal. I get what he was doing there, trying to play the pass, but when the right-handed shot on the left side, you kind of have to be a little bit more aggressive with playing the shot, which he's played 10 NHL games at this point, so like stuff like that will come more and more as he continues to play. But this team right now, man, they're playing their hearts out right now, and it's fun to see a team that actually looks like they care and they enjoy it and they have fun. And you're getting guys to kind of step up, and guys taking advantage of their opportunities, right? And again, a guy like Mikael Granlund, who traded last year, was written off like this guy, was a salary cap dump basically for the Pittsburgh Penguins to acquire Erik Karlsson. And he's finding his game again this year. And even at the beginning of the year, right, struggled with injuries, struggled with consistency. Even on this podcast, I was like, Mikael Granlund is, it's really struggling, but he's healthy right now. He's playing well, and he has been the guy that you can point to as like, this is why the Sharks are playing this well right now, is because a guy like Mikael Granlund making the most of his opportunities, and knowing this is probably like, I mean, he's only 31. He's going to get another contract, when this contract expires. But I think a lot of people thought he was done, right? A lot of people thought, well, he can't score, he can't shoot, he can't do a lot of things. But the Sharks have put the right pieces around Granlund with guys like Zetterlund and Duclair, who make sense with his skill sets. And he's making a lot of people, myself included, kind of eat their words. And it's nice to see, especially this team that's filled with so many of these reclamation projects, some of these guys taking their advantage, they're taking advantage of their opportunities and making the most out of them. And Granlund he's been the guy that you can point to. And be really impressed with how far he's come in such a short time with the Sharks. So we'll dig into the numbers. The numbers are gonna be really funky with all the injuries and shuffling and stuff like that. So we'll dig into the numbers the best we can. Look at some of the defensemen and kind of some of their numbers, and then of course we'll talk about the Barracudas up and down weekend and if Gushin is just he's really good, guys. So all that here in 1 second. Passion, drive, and patience, what brings home the winning trophy. That's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and leveled up to peak performance from superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered with over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die. You'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guarantee Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. So keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only, exclusions apply. eBay Guarantee Fit only available to U.S. customers. All right, so let's dig into the numbers of this game. So the Sharks kind of play with Vegas for a good chunk of for an out. It was even for majority of this game. I think the big thing you can look to is Vegas's ability to get more high quality shots, and you saw that a lot with a lot of breakaways, which was a little bit of sloppy defense from the Sharks tonight. But that's what Vegas does, right? They're very good at being that kind of counter punch team and taking advantage of those opportunities. But at 5v5, so we had 45 minutes, 39 seconds of 5v5 time, 48-46 shot attempts in favor of the Sharks. Corsi for 51.06 to 48.94. Of course, favor the Sharks. Actual shots at 5v5 is 29-20. Scoring chances 17-24 in favor of Vegas, and then 8-7 high danger chances in favor of Vegas. So Vegas did a little bit better job of getting those high quality chances compared to the Sharks. And you see that especially with the expected goals for 2.07 to 1.47 in favor of Vegas. So the Sharks, though, again, like in the third period, even in the third period, though, when they needed some of these goals, it was kind of Vegas still. Vegas in the third period was 3-7 scoring chances in favor of Vegas, 2-4 high danger chances in favor of Vegas. Even shot attempts at 5v5 was 12-15 in favor of Vegas. But the Sharks just kind of found a way as they've been doing and taking advantage of the opportunities. Especially, you had two Mike Hoffman goals, Calen Addison getting his first goal in Teal, just randomly just getting scoring opportunities from some of these guys who, it's Mike Hoffman who hasn't scored in a couple weeks, and then boom, Mike Hoffman 2 goals tonight. So, and then Mario Ferraro, who hasn't scored a goal all season, and for some reason can only score goals against Vegas, scores on the very first goal or first shot of the game, and it's just kind of taking advantage of the opportunities. But looking at the Corsi, like the Sharks kind of, came out front. Vegas really kind of took the lead back in the beginning of the second, or at least like with shot attempts in the second half of the first period. And then from there on, the Sharks kind of built they were kind of controlling the pace and maintaining. And there was a lot of Vegas counterpunching. And again, you could kind of expect that, especially with Vegas on the second night of a back-to-back. They played a big game against the Stars. It felt very much like we've seen them do this to the Sharks before, right? We're gonna we'll do enough, and then we'll put the game away, and type of game. And I really thought that's what was going to happen in the third period. And they kind of did, right? Vegas scored a goal early in the third period, and then the Sharks answered back on that power play. That weird power play with Mike Hoffman scoring goal, but the forward lines tonight. Are a mess because, again, with Hurdle or with Eklund not dressing, and then Duclair leaving after the first period. So the four lines are a hot mess. So try to pick out some of the guys who did play, kind of big chunks together. So Barabanov, Hurdle, Bank, which was that was the line that we first started. They played 637, 6-4 shot attempts, 2-2 actual shots on goal. Did give up a goal. 0.9 to 0.12 expected goals for and allowed. 1-2 scoring chances, 1 high danger chance. And then after Duclair left, we saw Barabanov, Granlund, Zetterlund. That was 449 time at ice, 5v5, 8-8 shot attempts, 6-4 actual shots in favor of that line. They did give up 2 goals as well. Hoffman, Stern, Bailey played for a little bit. They played about 3 minutes at 4 shot attempts, 3 actual shots allowed. So that's pretty good to see. We've got some Zadina, Hurdle, Bank, 3 shot attempts allowed, actual 3 shots on goal. It's just was a hot mess with all and especially with there was 7 combined power plays in this game. So like just the flow was a little bit weird in this game. It definitely felt like a Vegas team that was just kind of not all there. And even the Sharks were kind of a little bit off. I think the Sharks were off, especially in that second period, but kind of found their way back into the game. For the defensemen, so we'll look at their Corsi 4%. So Nikita Okhotiuk, he actually led the way with Corsi 4, so he had 14-8 shot attempts. He did have a kind of a fumble that led to a 2-on-1. Kaapo Kähkönen did a nice job of saving that goal. But when Nikita Okhotiuk was on the ice, the Sharks played pretty well. Mario Ferraro up in that trade value, 21-15 shot attempts, so 58.33. Corsi 4. Jan Ruda, 14-11 shot attempts, so 56%. Corsi 4. Kyle Burrows, 20-16 shot attempts, 55.56. Corsi 4. And then Henry Thrun and Calen Addison kind of got those the bottom pairing for the Sharks when it comes to the Corsi 4. Thrun 14-28, 12-19 shot attempts, 38.71% Corsi 4. Then Addison 15-16, 13-21 shot attempts, 38.24% Corsi 4. So numbers not exactly in favor of that pairing, so it'll be interesting to see what if and what David Quinn does. Vlasic, who missed this game due to a personal reason, so we'll kind of see keep an eye on that. What happens there? I wonder if, the Sharks just have so many young defensemen, right? With Ty Emberson out right now, looks like he's gonna be out for a couple weeks. I believe it's lower body, but I think it might be a groin injury from words on the street. But so we'll see what's keeping up with how long he'll be out. But I wouldn't plan on Emerson here for a little bit. So it'll be interesting what the Sharks do. And again, you're playing Vegas, right? We know Vegas is such a good team, been able to kind of create offense. And I think Thrun and Addison both are young guys. I know Addison's played like 100 NHL games, but young guys there. I wonder if maybe we see Addison with a guy like Burrows or you're just running out of defensemen. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of switch things up here. And then if Duclair is out for a while, I would assume Cunning's. I think he's getting close from what it sounds like, or maybe they might pull somebody up from the Sharks, or if Ryan Carpenter's available again here soon. They have so many injured players right now. So quickly for Kaapo Kähkönen. So 23 saves on 27 shots. Expect goals against 4, expect goals against 2.87. So 852 save percentage, faced 8 high danger shots, 6 high danger saves, 10 mid danger shots, and 8 saves, and then 9 for 9 low danger. I thought he wasn't tested much, but I thought Kakinen, especially on the breakaways, he made some big saves to kind of keep the Sharks in this game. And I think he's kind of got the number one. He's holding the belt right now for the number one goaltender for the Sharks. So we'll see with the Sharks. They have so they play on Tuesday and then they play Friday and Sunday. So they have a little bit of no back-to-backs, a little bit of space here. So I wonder if who gets the game on Tuesday, especially with a little bit shorter rest, right? It's only 2 days instead of the normal like Saturday to Tuesday where you kind of get a little bit more rest. So we'll see if maybe Blackwood draws back in against on Tuesday. And then I think it's Winnipeg on Tuesday, and then Arizona and Colorado for Friday and Saturday. So Arizona is playing really well right now. So interested to see how Quinn kind of deals with the goalies here. So before we check in with the Barracudas weekend and if Danil Gushchin could be a potential guy coming up, especially if Eklund and Duclair are out for a little bit, I need to take a quick break. A new NHL season brings all sorts of possibilities. The Sharks maybe aren't the worst team in the NHL, but they could still definitely be in the running for the draft lottery. And you could win big by playing daily fantasy hockey on Sleeper, the official daily fantasy app of the Locked On NHL Network. Sleeper is our number one choice for daily fantasy sports, especially daily fantasy hockey, because with Sleeper, you can win 100 times your cash in daily fantasy hockey contests. All you have to do is pick either your favorite players or your favorite superstars. You can pick players like McDavid, Ovechkin, Crosby, or McKinnon, or Slippery Pete, Hurdle, Granlund, and just pick if they're going to record more or less of their sleeper projections for things like goals, assists, saves, plus minus, and more in a given game. To win 100 times bet on Sleeper, you just need to correctly predict the outcome of 8 player stats. You heard me, Sharks fans. You can win 100 times your money playing daily fantasy hockey with Sleeper. So start paying attention and nail your picks so you can start winning big. Use promo code LOCKEDONNHL. You'll get a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. That's code LOCKEDONNHL. See Sleeper's terms of use for details and locational availability. All right. The Barracuda, another just kind of up and down weekend, this time playing the Henderson Silver Knights. Friday night, 6-1 beat down, right? And Danil Gushchin, 4-point night, a goal, 3 assists. And then on Saturday, right, this team just cannot maintain good play, right? They play super well. Friday night, you're hoping maybe the next day you can continue to roll with that momentum. Just another just kind of flat performance on Saturday night. And it's just you keep waiting and waiting, but this team right now, they're last in the Pacific, right? And it's at this point, it's getting very late for the Barracuda to kind of figure something out with this season. And I know, right, you have Robbins missing and you don't have Eklund, but like you still have plenty of talented players in Bordelot and Gushchin. And it feels like if those guys aren't contributing, that's what they won on Friday night because they had contributions from a lot of different guys, right? But it feels very much like if Gushchin and Bordelot like aren't producing, then this team just doesn't have anything, especially like in the bottom of the lineup. And I know like Brandon Coe's had 7 goals this season, but he's been very much in and out of the lineup, right? And the goaltending's been, I think the goaltenders have been put out to dry a lot this season, and the defense is still trying to figure things out. And I know they've had a lot of moving pieces around, especially with, guys kind of coming up and down from the system, but that's every AHL team, right? That's part of the AHL experience is kind of dealing with a lot of stuff all the time. And I know the Barracuda are a very young team, but it feels very much like if Gushchin and Bordelot aren't kind of driving the bus, this Cuda team just can't figure things out right now. And Gushchin though has been great. And yes, even on Saturday when he was held off the score sheet, he's just been one of the most one of the most important players for the Barracuda and one of the most impactful players, right? Just his ability. We know about the shot and his ability to score, right? He has got a wicked shot and he can score from basically anywhere on the ice. But his passing and his vision are really, really elite. Like underrated, to be honest, because we get so dazzled by the shot. But um, he just makes the players around him better. And yes, he does need to continue to work on things like back checking or not back checking, but kind of playing in the in his own zone, and needs to continue to build up his strength and all that stuff. And again, he's 21, 22, like that's what 21, 22-year-old is kind of fully physically mature. Like these guys still have plenty of time to go. But um I would love to, especially if Duclair is going to be out for a while, and if we're not trying to project or guess, but if I'm assuming, if he was held for this game, potential concussion. So if he's out for a little bit, I would love to see Gushchin get another chance to kind of play right, especially right now with Zetterlund and Granlund playing as well as they are. Getting a guy like Danil Gushchin on that line, like I would feel really comfortable with Gushchin kind of sliding in there. And yes, he's nowhere near Duclair right now, but I think he could do a lot of the same things Duclair is asked to do. And again, especially with how well that Granlund is playing and how well Zetterlund is playing, I think they can help kind of cover some of the slack defensively that you lose with Gushchin in the lineup. So we'll see. Again, I'm projecting we'll probably know more on Monday when the Sharks kind of get back into town and start having practice and stuff again back in San Jose. So but that's we'll see what there. I think Bordelot, kind of just checking in with Bordelot, you can see he's adding a lot to his game, right? And kind of remember Eklund got sent back last year and was like, go play in the AHL the whole season and kind of really fill out your game. And you can see a lot of Bordelot doing a lot of that stuff, right? Just kind of winning those board battles. And like there was a clip I on the other night where Bordelot's taking a guy who's like 6'6", 215, 220 pounds. And Borla's giving up almost a foot. I don't want to say a foot, but almost a foot to this guy, and kind of knocks him off the puck and is able to kind of get in there and get the puck and away from him. And that's what you want to see, right? Because Bordeaux's going to be, Bordeaux's played against bigger guys basically his entire life, but he's going to be playing against bigger, faster guys in the NHL. So seeing little things like that for him is good signs. But overall, though, this Barracuda team right now, it cannot get out of its own way for the most part. And, it's dumb penalties, it's sloppy penalty kill, and the defensive structure, which had looked better the past couple of weeks, is still very much a night-to-night experience. And I thought they played really well on Friday, and I thought the defense looked really well. And then the next night, it's just a lot of the same issues that have kind of plagued this team all season. So we'll see where this Barracuda team can kind of go and how they can. Again, you gotta start doing something. And they play the Calgary Wranglers this weekend, who's the #1 team in the Pacific. And I'm gonna be there for Teddy Bear Toss game on Saturday, so I'm really looking forward to it, to get there, to be there. But it would be nice to see this Barracuda team haven't even won 2 games in a row. Can we win 2 games in a row at some point this year? So that's going to be it for me today. We'll be back tomorrow to discuss a topic of I haven't thought of it yet, so we'll figure something out to discuss tomorrow. Plenty of game coverage coming this week. We'll probably working on getting some interviews as well lined up. So plenty of good stuff coming up here at Locked On Sharks. We'll probably World Juniors preview. Probably start draft coverage here soon. So yeah, plenty of good stuff. Make sure you guys are following along wherever you get podcasts, and of course you can watch on YouTube as well. When you guys are done checking Locked On Sharks out, make sure you guys go check out the Locked On Sports Today has launched a national 24/7 streaming channel on YouTube. They're covering all the top sports stories of the day with local experts on Locked On, plus our national shows covering every league. So go to Locked On Sports Today on YouTube and subscribe for the first ever national 24/7 streaming channel. You can also follow the show Locked On Sharks at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter at myfryhole. Until tomorrow. Bye, friends.